We thank you once again for joining us for another interview together with Margaret Njoroge, who is a counseling psychologist and assistant professor of psychology at USIU University. And we are here to talk about parenting teenagers, especially during this time of COVID-19. A man called Stanley Hall described teenage as an age of stress and storm. Stress because there is increased sensitivity, and storm because there's decreased self-control. So what is your take about general parenting of teenagers?
What Hall said is so true. A lot of storm, and parents do not even know what to do. But let me just first of all start by appreciating parents, because parenting is a full-time job, and it is that full-time job that all other jobs, including you being a minister, you went to a college.
Yes.
And you went to a college and you're trained how to handle your church, how to preach, and all those things. But the parent you are, have you ever gone to school to be trained?
Not at all. The school of life. Maybe the school of life.
Maybe the school of life.
Yes.
So parenting is that one job that is a full-time job, and a job whereby people do not go to any colleges, because we don't have colleges for parenting. They do not even though we may have books to refer to, it's different, because even what I am today, then I should have had books to refer to instead of going to college to be taught to become a psychologist.
Yes.
So you can imagine how parenting can be a challenge. And then the other thing is that parenting is a full-time job. You parent and parent and parent. I'm sure today, my mother...
Don't take a break.
my late mother, if she were alive, she would be calling me to ask you, how are you, my daughter?
Yeah.
I remember one time that my child was sick, and we were admitted at Gertrude way back. And she called me, instead of asking me, how is your daughter? She asked me, I wanted to know how you are faring on.
Wow.
So that tells you what parenting is all about. So parenting is a full-time job. It is a career that has no college, it has no university. It is a career that undoubtedly it can be a challenging one. Now let's come to teenagers. Teenagers are, you talked about storm and stress.
Yes.
That is basically the period. A lot of growth is taking place. A lot of development is taking place. What that actually means is that even themselves, they do not understand themselves. Yeah? You ask them, that's the reason why you'll get a child who is moody today, and you ask them, what is wrong? And then they answer you, Sikitu, you know, that there is nothing. And you are like, goodness, you are crying and there is nothing. What on earth is making you to cry and there is nothing? You know, so there is that element. They do not understand themselves. It is a time that they are developing an ego. An ego identity, whereby they are like asking themselves, who am I? Because even themselves, they don't understand themselves. So to some point, somebody by the name Erik Erikson, he called the stage of adolescence identity versus confusion. And I agree with him. There's a lot of confusion even in them. They do not understand what is happening to them. They have those questions of who am I? One time, it was during the World Cup. And during those days that I happened to like football. I hope you're not shocked.
You do.
I happened to like... By then it was Brazil. By then, these days, let me not talk about it, because my son, huanga ameninyanyasha kiasi, because he gives me the teams that are not working very well. But during that period, it was Brazil. And there is this one man who is called Ronaldo. And Ronaldo really had done so well for Brazil. He had scored very many goals. And he had a certain hairstyle, when he was being declared the footballer of the year, a certain hairstyle. Let me tell you, Mchugaji, the following day, young people around Kenya were wearing the hairstyle of Ronaldo. That's identity. They are looking for identity. So they are looking for identity, and in the process of looking for that identity, there is confusion. You as a parent are like, what is happening?
What's the problem?
For me and you, We do understand because of the knowledge that we have of psychology. But for them, parents, other parents, they're like wondering what on earth is happening.
Can you
so
probably
identity.
describe some of these changes that are taking place?
The changes that are taking place, first of all, this was a child. And this child has now grown to a bigger child. I like something that I always think about, that when they are children, we tell them, you are a child. You're not supposed to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4. But then, as they grow up knowing we are children, but then they realize that I am not the child that I was. I want my independence. So there is that element of moving towards independence.
No wonder most of them are looking for freedom, no?
Freedom.
Freedom fighters.
Yes, they're looking for freedom.
Yes.
They want that independence because they are no longer the children that they were. Their cognitive well-being is also growing. And therefore, before, they were thinking things in a concrete way. Looking at like a PG. Somebody by the name PG talked about those area stages whereby they are thinking in a cognitive way. But now that has changed. They are more abstract. They want like, if they are told that this is a tissue paper, they want to understand tissue paper. What is it made of? Why do people use tissue paper instead of this other one? So you see, now they want to make things, there is that element of moving towards independence. Then moving, they also want to move towards different and more mature way. That's the reason why you're telling them, can I buy you a dress? And then when you buy a dress and you bring, it will not be worn. Because it's like you are still buying them the clothes of those young people. That is also growing. Look at them even psychologically. They are growing. Can you imagine that there before, their hormones and their emotions, they were in agreement because they were children. But now they have reached an age whereby these hormones and these emotions cannot be trusted anymore. They cannot be trusted anymore. So the boy and the girl who would sit together and things are okay because they do not note the difference. All they know is that we are children. It's changing. Why? Because there is that is taking place, the kind of growth that is taking place. So basically there's a lot that is happening as far as these young people are concerned. Then we talked about those hormones. What does that call for? They need to manage their sexuality. Manage their sexuality because here we have been told that hii ni tabia baya. Let me use Kiswahili. You know, our people out here, most of them are, speak Kiswahili.
Bad manners.
So now, it's like we are being told it is tabia baya, but the movies that I'm watching, I can see young people doing it. What is wrong with it? I am reading books and there is nothing wrong. In fact, yesterday I had a class of a drug and chemical dependency. And something came out that really worried me because they said, Mwalim, we know very well that bangi is not bad. Yes, because it can heal very many diseases. And I allowed them to speak. And bangi, you cannot just get addicted unless you are really taking at very high levels. It's an okay thing, And the reason why I'm bringing it in here, it's because it's a bachelor's class. And that bachelor's class has, they are all below 20.
Yeah, they're young people.
They are young people. What does that tell you? That they have read books. We have so many countries that are of the opinion that marijuana is good. It's
so they're reasoning.
They're reasoning.
Logical,
Yes, logical reasoning. So there is all that is taking place. And then there is also the body changes that are also taking place. If it's a girl, body changes are taking place. And those body changes, sometimes they don't even know what to do with it. One parent called me and she was very sometimes, and she was very worried. She told me, my son called me and he told me he was very concerned because his voice has become hoarse. So the boy was calling mommy, my voice has become hoarse. What do I do?
Yes.
And she's a single mother. So she needs a lot of it. So parenting such who are having all these changes together. But then again, what about stubborn stress? All these things too many for the young mind of this teenager to be able to concentrate. They become overwhelmed.
So as much as we blame them, we also go through a lot.
Yes, they're going through a
Now,
lot.
what are these issues? What are the challenges that parents are facing? Yeah.
During
Generally.
this COVID situation,
Generally. With teenagers,
the parents are facing many challenges. One, they don't understand these teenagers. When somebody tells you, I don't know what is the problem, or I have no problem, yet they are crying, yet they are looking, they are locking themselves in home, they don't want to speak to anyone, you can't understand. Another one is somebody has close to you, and when they have close to you, they don't want to like take any books, and their parents are wondering, why are you not taking books and studying? But one child told us that one of the reasons why they are not able to study during the holidays, I'm not talking about COVID, holidays, it is because they know that school is where they're supposed to be studying.
So
home is supposed to be something different. Now here you are, Mchungaji, a parent, you actually want them to take books and read. The question that the young person will ask is, when will I have my own? You as a parent will not be able to manage that because there is pressure. Pressure, you have to do this, you have to pass, you have to, that's another problem. Another problem is we have so much expectation of teenagers. There was one time that a parent had really pressured the son and the daughter, two of them, because they are of the same, close age, 1 year difference. And I actually, outside of the parent, I asked outside of the child, I asked the parent, did you get
Oh, another one that I've actually had most of the time is when you see them getting boyfriends and girlfriends.
Yes.
It becomes so much.
Yes.
And then they realize that you got married at the age of 15.
You can say that again. I'm hoping that you're not pointing fingers.
No, it's just what you do.
Because I got married at the age of 20. And by the time I was going to 21, I had my firstborn. And now my daughter was asking me the other day, Mom, you must have dated when you were little.
Underage.
In fact, they say, you must have been a juvenile. You ought to have been rescued.
And then when you see how the boyfriend, you want to scream.
Exactly. And let me tell you something, today. Because of us not being able to allow them to have boys closer to them, I had another class of human sexuality that taught me a lot. The young people said that I had they were in group work. And in that group work, they decided now there was one that was looking at the issue of LGBTQs, yeah? And the others were looking at another. The group that was looking at LGBTQs, you know what was observed, they came back with their presentation that the Christian name was actually required. And what was shocked. Let me just do that so that I can get it.
Yes.
The group was a group of 10 of them. 7 of them were girls, 3 of them were guys. Among the 7 girls, 5 of them, 5 out of 7, they told me they are bisexual. They are bisexual. So I allowed, in fact, we did only that one presentation because I wanted to know what led to that. And one of them was very good and she was supported by the others. And she said, I became bisexual because when I was growing up, my parents would never allow me to relate with any boy. And we are born as girls alone. Now, when I could not be able to relate with any boy, I went to a primary school that was girls only from class 4. And then I went to high school, girls only. And then it's like when I was in high school, I started having, now the issue of emotions I was talking about and the hormones, they were like telling the person, you need a person of the opposite sex. So she brings a guy home and they were just there. She said, we only kissed. And after kissing, I started looking forward to that kiss. But then we were found by my parents. When we were found, we were beaten. And the young guy was told never again
to come near that
one. So I decided to become bi. And that's the reason why I'm bi. And in fact, she put it this way. for a girl and a girl, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 can happen, and there are no risks.
There are more risks.
There are no risks, according to her.
Yes.
No risks.
Yeah.
And when my parents see me with another girl, they have no problem. What am I telling parents today? I am telling parents that we have that balance as parents. We have taken it that everything, anytime that you see I am girl, I am boy together, that the worst, the best they can discuss is just sex. But there is lack of that being able to understand who men are, who women are.
So there's so many challenges.
So many challenges.
So many challenges. Now that brings us now to the time we are right now, community level, where parents are actually complaining. They don't understand this. One of them told me that they have turned nocturnal. They are weird creatures in the house because they wake up at night to eat. Yeah.
They wake up at night
and then they sleep the whole day. And it's like things have changed. And I don't know, have you been able to analyze the challenges that teenagers are going through during COVID-19?
Now, having summarized the challenges that they experience, I want to let the parents know that they still have their own, those very challenges with them. Then, those very challenges have been complex.
Yes.
Nothing has changed.
But
it has been made complicated by the COVID-19 situation. Why? Because it is a time whereby they cannot go out. Young people value their friends so much. They cannot be able to meet their friends. They are not able to release the energy. You know, that much energy that we have, they are not able to do that. And because of that, they are, because of COVID, they are confined. Yeah, that being confined with very little ways of releasing the energy is not doing their anything. You can imagine now when that is added to who they are at the stage they are in. It makes things worse. Now, some of them are actually very concerned that their parents may become ill, and we ignore. We ignore. But they fear. Why? When everybody is saying those people who are over 57, you need to be careful. And these teenagers have parents who are over 67, they get worried that they may get ill. They even fear that their boyfriends and their girlfriends, they get ill. But you know, it's like in the whole picture, us as parents, it's like there is nowhere a boyfriend is supposed to study. Neither is there anywhere a girlfriend.
They don't matter to us. But they matter most of them.
They matter. Yes. And they matter a lot. And in fact, Mchukaji, if you allow me, some of these things I just need to, when I mention it, I tell the parents how to manage it. In the circumstance that such a thing is happening, or even when you are not sure that it is happening, as a parent, you need to give them a lot of assurance. Assurance that, yeah, the COVID is there, but we are trying as much as possible to take care of ourselves. And the same way, yeah, that we are taking care of ourselves, also yourselves, you need to take care of yourselves. You can also engage them and ask them, how about your friends? How are they? Yeah, how are your friends?
They're concerned about their
yeah,
friends,
I'm actually
peers.
Concerned. You know, your peers probably are also not safe. Yeah. Have you checked on them? You know, when they realize that you're like, you recognize their peers, you recognize their girlfriends, their boyfriends. That makes them feel, at least somebody understands, because they feel very much honored, you know, not understood. And let's not deny that they are concerned about the health. Families can more effectively minimize worries by taking control of things and talking about the way things are. Yeah, this is the situation. The reason why probably we are getting into having very big numbers. Number one, much as people may have relaxed, but there could also be the other element, the element of we are doing massive testing. You know, so that is something that can happen. Another thing is that teenagers don't want to appear unsure of themselves. It makes them feel ridiculous, unsure of themselves, and it is worse during this.
What exactly do you mean by that?
By being unsure of themselves, like they are not in control of themselves as a person. So even when you send them out, you just only remind them, you're going out, I'm sending you to the supermarket, wear your mask, ensure that you don't leave your mask. That is very important. And because I know you will meet friends, and you might need to say hi to them. You know the way, and probably hug them. Probably that hugging may be a challenge. You can be in control by just say, you know, you people got that.
Sure.
Yeah, but we are maintaining our distance. Physical distance. The other thing that can worry them a lot and can make them feel very unstable or, you know, mentally is thinking that their parents are not doing well financially. You know, they watch. They watch. One child asked the father, now that your business, you are saying your business is not doing well, Daddy, will we continue going to school when schools reopen? Daddy, will we manage to go for holiday? You know, the small things that matter to children. Will we manage to go for holiday? So teens, the same way. If they looked at it and they realize that their parents are not doing well financially, that is something that can really stress them. So you can imagine storm and stress because of whatever they're experiencing, another stress added to COVID closure, you know, yeah, another stress, financial instability of the family, it can be too much. And parents may not know how to handle. But let me tell you how parents can do that. That's the reason why I told you that. We'll be looking at something and then we ask ourselves, what can be done? They should, you parents should acknowledge that this can cause anxiety. However, I look forward and I see after COVID, there may be a possibility of it opening up. And when it opens up, we are looking at other businesses that we could actually begin. Or that is already in the pipeline. You had better play strong in front of them, then you go look for an outlet. You don't be a denial. You don't be a denial. You deny the fact that the Oye thing. Yeah, you are Oye there. So you play strong. Play strong. Then, because I don't want to pretend to be strong for so long, what you will do, go look for an outlet yourself. Go sit with somebody. You can go sit with the Reverend Njeru and tell him, you know what? Things are not working. So are you saying it's not okay to tell them that actually things are not good? You will tell them. You will tell them, but you acknowledge. Because the last things. I want this, I want my sausage, I want my stuff. Yeah. And you can't acknowledge at this particular time, things are not okay. But we are doing everything possible to make sure that things will be okay. And you give them an example. For instance, you may not eat sausages now, but that does not mean you will not eat sausages tomorrow, because it will open up. That will do for them. You have given them an understanding with a bold face. But you can imagine when you don't give them some confidence, and you are there with your oye, what happens? Can be very serious. So be strong, look for an outlet yourself later on. Okay. And let's go on. Okay. Be patient with the young people. Be patient with the young people. It's not easy for them. Let's just understand that it is not easy for them. Just be patient with them. Parents, so even when you see them not acting and behaving the way you want, you just be patient. Be patient. Okay. As you are patient again, control your emotions. I know as ladies sometimes are very poor at controlling our emotions. Can become hysterical. And we can become hysterical, but in the long run, we are better off than those who do not become hysterical. But that brings us to a question that I want to ask you. Yes. About parenting, because parents are actually confused on the choice between being firm and being friendly. Where do you strike that balance? Because, of striking the balance. I've seen parents actually who have gone beyond, in terms of being firm and being so overprotective, setting up very clear rules. But sometimes the kids rebel and they realize that it was not the right choice. So can you talk about that a little bit? Okay, maybe in talking about that, I would actually give a scenario of 3 types of parenting. Yeah, one of them is authoritarian. Authoritarian is where I have said these are the rules and the regulations, and you should follow with no question. Okay? Without questioning. With no questioning. An authoritarian, I'm talking about authoritarian, just in case I made a mistake. Authoritarian, these are the rules, they should be followed, no question. Yeah? They are not very warm to their children.
Yeah.
Those are the parents who but this is how I was brought up. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's keen. And
yes, that's how we were brought up. We were told when you are told to jump.
And that's why we are where we are today. That's
yeah, when you are told to jump, you jump.
How high?
About how high you can ask when you've already jumped.
Yes.
Those are parents who are called authoritarian parents. Yeah, and please note, they are not as warm. Yeah, they provide, they will do everything else, but they are not as warm. Then we have others that are called permissive parents.
Yeah.
Permissive parents, it's like let them be, let them do whatever they want to do.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, they don't want to eat. It's okay. Oh, they want to sleep until 3 until 3 p.m. Let it be. Oh, they want to do this and back to the first parent, that is authoritarian. They don't negotiate. No negotiation. Okay. These ones, of permissive. I don't know whether it is negotiating, but it is let children just be.
Let them be.
Let them be. Then we have the authoritative. Authoritative are their rules that have been set. But in most cases, those rules are negotiated.
You sit together and set
you
the
sit
rules.
together, we agree that people will be waking instead of, because when you're going to school, you wake up at 5. Now you're not going to school, but we still have some homework to do. Then what will happen is that you will not be waking up at 6, you'll be waking up at 10. Okay?
And they can also bring their input.
Yes. Yeah. Or what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think about waking up at 10? And they say, yeah, I think 10 o'clock is not as bad.
Or 10:30.
Or 10:30.
Yes.
Supposing instead of 10:30, how about 11? And then you ask, now when you wake up at 11, is it when you eat lunch at, breakfast at 11? Now, unless then we eat lunch at 3. It's okay, we can eat lunch at 3. And then when it comes to sleep time, sleeping time is 9 o'clock. Now that we are not waking up very early, supposing we push sleeping time to 11 p.m. so that we can watch a movie. Okay? You know, that is there is negotiation. Yeah. So we have rules that have been set, and in most cases there is the element of involving them, involving the children when you're making the rules. And then they are warm. Warm as in, I will punish you, like when there is a punishment to be done. I will punish you because we agreed 1, 2, 3, 4, but that does not mean I don't love you. I still love you. But you know, but rules...
in case you go against what you just said...
rules have to be followed.
Yeah.
That is now the authoritative. Now the question is, it's a question I will ask you. Among the three, who are the children that you may think will thrive?
The authoritative.
The authoritative.
Parents, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
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 And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talk about punishment. And that's another thing that I think we need to talk about and emphasize. Because I've found parents who cane and beat teenagers with a lot of anger. It's like you're pouring anger on them. Or you say things that are not so good to these teenagers.
Yes.
How should you punish
And you know, some of the things that are said, they really damage their self-esteem.
Yeah. So how should
What kind of man are you going to be? A man who cannot wake up and do 1, 2, 3, 4. You're just going to be like...
So and so.
You know, so and so. In fact, one child asked, there is a certain man who has a psychosis. Yeah. I call it psychosis, but other people would call it alikuwa mwenda wazimu. So he was just sitting around somewhere, and the kid would be told, if you don't study, you'll be like so and so.
Oh, no.
So now the boy asked the parents, why can't you tell me that I study and become a big man like Bob Collymore? That time Bob Collymore was
the CEO of Safaricom.
Yes, the CEO of Safaricom. Yeah. So you see, that is a question that was very loaded. That is a question that is very loaded. So punishment. Punishment is not just about caning, and that is what we forget. Yeah, caning is one of the if you can remember, Mchungaji. If there is something that a punishment you've never forgotten, probably if you are brought up by parents who are like my own parents, and I believe even though
don't remind me, let's talk about it.
One of the things that we don't forget are those times that we were caned, and sometimes whatever you are caned for is something that you would have discussed. and maybe
sometimes you can't even remember what you
can't
did.
even remember what you did. In fact, one guy who is one of the contemporaries was telling us, you know, Madhe alikuwa hata anatuchapa kabla hajatoka nyumbani. Na alikuwa anasema, wacha niwachape kwa sababu najua mtafanya makosa. Yeah, so they were being chapwad in advance. In advance. You know, caning is not the only way.
Where you delay and say your dad will come on Saturday. Yeah? Yeah, wait until Saturday.
And you know what? Anytime that punishment is not administered immediately, that punishment has no effects.
Yeah.
A punishment should be immediately. And that punishment does not necessarily have to be beating. There are so many ways of punishing. For instance, look at what your child loves most. They love watching TV? Okay, fine. No watching TV today. And the reason why you will not watch TV is because you did this and the other and the other. You are denying a privilege. So there are some ways. You can actually decide today, I'm taking everybody for a ride, and the person who will not go for the ride, who will remain here with auntie because the house help is there, it's going to be you. And the reason it's because you did not do as we agreed. So we have many ways of punishing. Let me tell you, sometimes we cane children, they get used to it. To a point whereby, chapa tu, umalize. You can't remember in school?
Yeah, you just...
mwalimu fulani ni kuchapa, okay, sawa. Unampatia tu. It's about what you tell your mind. I would feel pain.
Yeah.
So, punishment is not, there are many ways of punishing. Yes.
I think that is very interesting because we have seen parents damage young ones. And some of them rebel.
Please, parents.
And sometimes I've had parents whose kids stood in front of them and said things, no? And they are just coming out of that area of that era of intimidation. And parents get concerned that these kids are rebelling.
Yes.
But I think it's a form of punishment that sometimes we prescribe.
The form of punishment.
Yeah.
And maybe before we leave there, telling off a teenager in front of the peers. In front of the peers.
That is damaging.
You know, very damaging. Yeah, look at your friends. They have actually cut their hair. Yours is like a bush, you know.
Or another one, punishing your kids in school, you know?
Yes.
You go to school, you're called for this meeting, and you are told what the kid did. Then you punish the kid in front of the other kids.
Parents remove their belts.
And show how tough you are.
And you know, other students are probably watching. It really can damage. Some of them have even refused to go to school because of that.
How do you face your crowd? You know, your pride is taken away.
And you know what? That is the time that they are feeling we are maturing. I'm a mature person. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. I think that was important to talk about the COVID-19 and teenagers and how parents should parent during this time.
Yes.
I don't know whether you have a parting shot.
Yes.
Something you just don't tell parents.
Yes.
Maybe an encouragement.
Yes.
Hope.
Yes. Parents, I want to encourage you that it is a difficult time. Very difficult indeed for all of us. Difficult because we don't even know what to expect. And difficult because we have to provide to the families. We have to parent these teenagers and even the younger ones. And we have also our emotional challenges. My encouragement to you is try as much as possible to be an understanding parent. Try as much as possible to be patient. And as for you, you can look for a resource elsewhere. You know, you are one person who can take a phone, use your data, call somebody, laugh, and even take a drive if you can, you know, meet with somebody because you can be able to maintain physical distance. Allow them somehow to have some social networks because staying connected is one of the things that we really need at such a time.
We need to stay connected. And again, I think as I end, it's also important to say that be friendly to your teenagers.
Yes. Very important.
Remember, the allegiance is the peers. What if you became a peer to them? What if you spoke their language, watched movies with them, discuss as peers, talking with them instead of talking to them, being friends? And I think that would be a game changer.
But you know what?
Yes.
some of them were not friends from when they were young. That's the
so
challenge.
great.
But it is all not lost. You
Yeah.
still can try.
Yeah,
Write
and
a
actually
text message, I
COVID-19
love you,
Yes.
to your son and to your
COVID-19 has
daughter.
brought a situation where people are together.
Together.
And I think we can try that.
True, true.
So thank you very much, Dr.
You're welcome.
We always appreciate your input, your insights, and that was a very great lesson, teaching to.
Thank you for your invitation, and thank you for the support that you are giving to this parish.
Yeah.
You are one of your kind, Mchungaji.
Thank you.
Yes. God bless you.
Thank you for the compliments. God bless you.
Good.
Thank you very much. Join us again next time for another interesting topic. Dr. will also always be here with us once in a while to talk on different issues that are affecting us, not just during this time, but even beyond. May the Lord bless you. Have a wonderful time. Amen.